Yo, boys, what is up? We are back with another of the episode, the Supercross Podcast. We are going to be going over all the stuff that happened in A2 with 250 and the 450. You know, it's the normal people, like always. Me, Cam, Luke, Jared. We're all going to be talking about A2. Let's get into this. Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
And I heard that.
Did you hear it?
Yeah. I'm happy I didn't unmute the goddamn audio.
So we're going to start this over. The first minute is going to be of us laughing.
It doesn't matter. That's the good part.
Did you hear it the first time I played it?
No.
How'd you know what we were laughing about?
Because I heard it through my headset.
What do you mean?
Alright, we're going
He heard it through the headset, but he had it muted, so he couldn't... It didn't... What?
Alright. I got a wild question before this even starts. Has Zach Osborne always been a fucking reporter or an announcer?
No, and he's not good at it.
He's not. That was so bad.
He was so, like... I don't know, he was so stiff and awkward up there.
Yeah, it was weird. I saw them bring up Zach Osborne, and I was like, why? What the hell?
I mean, I guess it's going to take somebody a little bit to get comfortable doing that, but I don't know.
Still. Alright, so let's get into this 250 talk. The first topic I have is Mosman kind of taking the lead a little early, but we know how that ended. So, what do y'all think needs to happen for if Mosman is to get up front? What does he need to do to stay?
Not get passed by Craig.
Well, of course that, but
I think Mosman held his own for a long time before he got
really
passed.
did.
He did really good for a long time of the race. And then, like, a little bit at the end until, like, maybe like a lap or two left. It looked like he was going to start to fight back, but
Craig's so dominant in that class. It's hard to tell unless he gets caught up behind someone. Honestly,
yeah, and it's whoop speed. It's literally like
that's where he catches everyone. Is in the whoops.
He catches everyone and he separates. So Mosman and all these guys are getting out of their comfort zone just to try to keep up with them.
Okay, so if we're going to talk about Craig's whoop speed, I'm just going to go into the next question. It's kind of a question, but also a statement. Christian Craig's whoop speed is clearly the fastest in the 250s right now.
Mm-hmm.
Would you put him up there for the fastest in Supercross right now?
I would say he's close to it, honestly.
Could be, definitely, yep.
Because how many riders in the 450 you think would hang? Like, if it was just a straight, like they would go into it at the same area, like same line and everything. Who you think gets out around there with him?
I would say a 450 would, just because of how much more torque they have going into it. The whoops, because they have more drive, obviously, but I honestly don't know.
Because with him even handling the 250 like that in those whoops, and it's like, it's just crazy on what he's doing in that, and like in the whoops, and then you see like Hunter Lawrence and all them, and Hunter Lawrence had a little bit of a good drive through it one time, and it caused him to make a pass, but Christian Craig is just way too fast for it.
Yeah.
Joe Shimoda had a really good pass on him early on, though.
He did do that.
It was super clean, and I don't think Craig saw it coming, honestly. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, as far as we all kind of talk shit about Freezy, you never want to see that happen, him get hit in the head like that.
Yeah,
it looked like, from what I've heard from his trainer, it looked like he just, like, I guess, bit his tongue and needs stitches.
Really? That's all he did? No concussion or anything?
I'm guessing a concussion, but it hasn't been reported yet. His trainer said he's okay, but he needs stitches because he bit his tongue.
Man, I can understand. I can see that, but dude, just the way he got up.
Oh yeah, he was wobbling like crazy.
He about walked back onto the whoops. He about walked back onto the whoops, and the Alpine Star medical crew had to literally grab him.
Yeah. Because with how fast Shimoda was going, no.
Yeah.
He's got some type of head injury.
Mm-hmm.
Cam, what's your view on that whole situation?
Well, I thought it was kind of interesting. Did you guys happen to see Shimoda's post today on his injuries from that crash?
No.
I saw that he posted a picture like with Band-Aids on his cheek or something. Freezy's was so bad I didn't even really pay attention to what happened to Shimoda.
Yeah, honestly, I know he veered off to the right side of the whoops, but
I was waiting
didn't
for
really
Freezy.
see what. Yeah, no shit. He got hit hard.
Yeah, it was hard to tell like how bad Shimoda's chin was. I mean, obviously it wasn't nearly the same as Freezy's, but Freezy's crash. But the picture that Shimoda posted of his jersey and stuff, like it was just like blood covered. I mean, he must have really. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty nasty.
I might have to go look at that because I didn't even know he.
Yeah, I didn't know Shimoda got injured because he continued to ride after that happened.
Like, all you saw,
and it might have been.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go.
No, I was just gonna say. I don't think it was anything more than maybe Band-Aids and stitches for Shimoda, but man, his jersey was pretty nasty. So clearly hit hard.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, because by the way, the looks of it, whenever Shimoda hit Freezy, it literally looked like Shimoda just bobbled. Like, yeah, he hit him, so it's gonna mess up his rhythm.
Yeah, he
bobbled.
But
it literally just looked like he bobbled and kept going. It didn't phase him at all. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, no, he went down pretty good off the side of the whoops.
That's crazy because I never. Of course, like right as soon as it happened, they like pretty much soloed out Freezy and showing him getting carried away and everything. But
Shimoda cannot catch a break. Every single week, it seems like he's either going down, he's getting injured, he's flipping over his handlebars. It's every single week.
I know we're not talking about East Coast or anything, but it kind of sounds like Austin Forkner.
Pretty much.
Austin Forkner and AC. They both have the same problem in their 250 days.
Yeah, I remember we were kind of talking about Shimoda last week, and one of the things I mentioned was, what does he need to do to get back in the game? I was like, he just needs to have some better luck, and unfortunately, it didn't happen this time around either.
I honestly think he probably would have got third because he was catching Hunter Lawrence. Hunter didn't look smooth, and I think Shimoda would have got third if he didn't go down.
Yeah.
Do you think Lawrence was comfortable with the track though?
I don't think so. It didn't seem like it at all.
He did not look as smooth as what he has been in the past.
Correct. Yeah. Usually he's kind of like the late race Charger, and I mean, there was nothing special. It was Mosman and Craig out front, and Hunter struggling to pass Freezy. Like just, I don't know. And then I think Ricky Carmichael said something about it was Hunter. They've realized when he gets into a groove behind a slower rider that he knows he's faster than, he kind of he stays in that groove and he kind of paces him, which loses valuable time.
Yeah, staying in that groove, he can't be doing that. Especially if you know if Hunter Lawrence knows he's faster, he just needs to get around him and charge ahead even more.
But I don't even know, dude. Honestly.
I mean, props to Freezy though. He was riding a really good race at the time. Like, I mean.
Oh yeah, most definitely. One of his best races that he's had this season.
I think what was it, the heat race? He was putting on a show with Craig for a little bit. Like I think Craig was getting kind of annoyed.
Yeah,
it didn't last long, but it was at least he was trying.
I think he was just kind of showing Craig like maybe if I'm in front of you, it's not going to be an easy one. But then also Christian Craig just made it look easy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's the whoops every time. That's he knows where to make his passes.
That's been the story of the season. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm correct, I don't think Christian Craig has been that fast in the whoops like in most of his career. Like it's mainly just this year.
Yeah. Did you guys see the little? I don't remember exactly which commercial break it was in, but the little commentary about talking with his wife and him and stuff.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so they kind of explained, because like we've talked about it on the podcast in previous ones, was why isn't Craig moving up? Why? Why is he staying down in 250s? Everybody kind of criticizes him for it, and they're like, he's got 2 kids, he's got a wife, he's got a family to feed, and he hasn't got a full-time ride or an offer in the 450s. So why go up there and buy your own bike, your own parts, all of this, and struggle when you could be on 250s, probably get a championship, and hopefully next year get a ride for the 450s,
Mm-hmm.
This is a statement season for him.
And I'm happy that they came out with that, because everybody has been kind of ridiculing him for not moving up. So now that
I think a lot of people...
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I was just going to say, I think a lot of people, including myself, often forget that he had pretty substantial injuries. I mean, that back injury was no joke at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy that they kind of did a commercial break on that, because now nobody can really say why doesn't he move up? What's the reason why? I want to say Christian Craig has the money, but also he can get an actual ride and not have to pay for a bike.
Yeah, I hope this season shows that, like, maybe even to the Yamaha 450, just move him straight up. Like, hey, I deserve this. I can prove that I'm the fastest guy there. So
yeah,
and I hope it earns him a ride and a sponsorship and all that stuff.
Yeah, so do I. I hope it does a lot. The next topic is Nate Thrasher versus Jaleek Swole. That battle was a long one.
It was, yeah, and I think Swole is getting more comfortable racing Supercross and stuff. So, I mean, it was good. He gave him a hard fought battle, but it was fun to watch. I'll tell you that.
It was. We're kind of going through the 250s pretty quick, but that's kind of expected when there's really only 3 riders in the championship hunt right now.
Yeah.
And really the one that I think what helped out was Hunter Lawrence getting third kept him in it.
Yeah, it had to have.
Yeah, because him battling back, coming back to third, it might have I think it kind of saved his season a little bit, because with them being this many rounds in already, and Craig is pulling away.
Because he's almost won every single race.
Yeah, he's only lost 1 race this year, and that was the one race where he crashed in the first turn.
And it's crazy to think that, in my opinion, that was one of his best races he's had.
Yeah, because he showed that he can come back from what he did. He went from 20. What, he went from 21st?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 21st all the way to 3rd. It's just like we talked about it. We talked about it last week. We don't need to go back into it, but he's the fastest rider out there, and it's easily showing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we talked about Freezy's crash. The question is, if it does to come out to be a concussion, how many weeks y'all think he's out?
I say
probably at least 8 weeks.
2, or I think 2 most likely, just because of how severe it was.
See, I thought that too with Jaleek Swole's, because his looked nasty, but yeah. Swole was only out 1 week, and he was back the 3rd round. So I mean, I guess it depends with busting up your lip or your tongue or whatever it was. I guess we'll see what it is.
Okay, so we're gonna go on to the 450s. Let's just the main one came out earlier during the week. Cianciarulo's season being done. What does that kind of change for everything? Because he was pretty damn.
I wouldn't say
he was
it
pretty
changed
damn.
a whole lot.
But he was also the most consistent starter. Like he was always
Yeah,
up
that's
there.
the
He was
biggest-
always up there at the top at the beginning of the race. So
Yeah,
now
I think
that just takes out a rider that they have to pass.
Yeah, and I mean for seeing Cirillo, I mean this in a very serious way, but he was kind of the wild card, of the races thus far. So without having him in there, again, getting those starts and getting out front, I don't know. I think it definitely changes things for sure. There's going to be one less guy to battle with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully Cirillo, I love watching him race. He's a great racer. He's just always fought the injury bug, and I hope that he can complete a month. He can complete a whole season some year. I really do.
Which I
He's fun to
honestly,
watch.
I think with him taking this year off is smart.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's got that knee injury now,
Because usually whenever he got hurt, he always just kept trying to race.
yeah, that's
It
just
didn't heal or anything, so he wasn't performing at 100%.
Yeah,
like
and
Savachi.
I don't. Yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say I don't know if that's one of the topics or whatever, but like shout out to Savachi. He's, he aggravated that ACL, which he was riding on a torn ACL in the first place, but he left Supercross, went and just now had his second child. So congrats to him.
Yeah, he had his second child, and then he got his ACL repaired, right?
Yeah.
Yep, I had
So-
surgery on I think Tuesday.
So that just imagine what that's going to do for him. Like, yeah, he's not on he's not on a big factory bike, but he might be able to come back next year, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe it'll change everything. He'll get to spend time with his wife, his kid, and all that. Maybe he can be like, I want to say like Roxon, but I know he's not up there to Roxon's level.
No.
But Roxon also, whenever he had his kid, his whole way of racing changed.
Most definitely. He rode a lot smarter. He's not near as, I don't
Aggressive.
know what to say, but yeah, he's more mature about it because he knows if he gets hurt, he's going to be there for his kid.
That's kind of just like Christian Craig. Like, whenever they said, I know we don't want to go back to we don't want to talk about 250s much when we're talking about 450s, but during that little commercial, they were saying that he was working construction.
Mm-hmm.
And-
Blue collar worker.
Yeah, whenever Jagger came along, he said he wanted to go back and do it for him.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I know it's crazy to think, but look at Jagger now. He's out there riding a Husqvarna, which is a little different, but
Mm-hmm.
he's got a Husqvarna with Yamaha plastics on it.
Yep. Because Yamaha doesn't make 50s.
Yeah, but that's honestly still awesome to do for him. Just kinda,
yeah.
Just kind of give the kid a little bit of, be like my dad, pretty much. But, let's go. Let's talk. Who was talking about Malcolm Stewart? Good starts, can hang up front.
I was.
What do you?
So I
think
talked
happened?
about Malcolm Stewart because Malcolm has been one of the most consistent because he's got a 7th, 5th, and now another 5th. He's been top 5 for the last 3 weeks. So I don't know. Malcolm is he's got the speed, but he's missing something.
Yeah, because he had a fantastic start.
I really don't think he's missing a whole lot. It's just the class is stacked.
That's true.
Like, you saw how fast Anderson just blew by him.
Mm-hmm. Anderson, I mean, that's probably another segment that you have later or whatever, but he was riding off of his ass.
Yeah.
He was so uncontrol of his bike in the heat race and everything. Like, even we could talk about the whole him taking out Roxon thing and stuff. He even said he did it by accident. He doesn't mean to take somebody out, but the whole
happened.
race, it just. And I think, my dad actually said this to me after the race. He thinks Anderson is riding out of his comfort zone to keep up with everybody.
I think he has to. But
Yeah.
him
You
riding.
think he has something to prove?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've
And I
also
think that
got
win
I've
also
got
made him
another
more
topic
hungry.
about another rider that I think that they need to. It's Y'all probably know who it is, but we'll save that for later because I think that's going to be more of a talk towards the end of the podcast. What happened to Plessinger?
Crashed in the sand.
Yeah.
He crashed in the sand, and he got bruised up and stuff like that, but he should be back for, is it Glendale? I think we're going to next. So that's what he said. He put on Instagram that he messed up. He went down in the sand hard. I think the bike got pretty messed up, and then I think he finished 22nd. He didn't get back up.
Yeah, because I think it was like first or second lap.
It was
It was really early. That's why I saw they showed that he went down, and I was like, oh god, that's not good because I like Plessinger. I think we all do.
Yeah, and he was he wasn't like sticking to the points of things, but he was there. He had that second place and stuff.
Yeah.
You know? So.
But it's just more of you hate to see it for him. One of the brightest, like one of the happiest dudes in the sport.
Wow, the Rams are going to the Super Bowl. Sorry, just got that update.
No way.
Yep,
Wow.
Rams versus Bengals. I know it's not a football podcast, but I got that update.
Putting it right here on the podcast. Joe Shiesty. Joe Shiesty.
Yeah.
So what's the next segment we're talking about?
Anderson Roxon.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
That's just so. Wow.
Why?
Yeah, why? Like, I understand it's sand and you can't, like, you're not going to have as much control on the bike, but it literally looked like he just grabbed a handful of throttle and said, let's go. It
really did.
Yeah, let's just say I had some nice French words to say to the TV and to Anderson after that happened.
100%.
So they've had, I guess, their scowl of things for the past 2 weeks. The first week, Roxon was just unaware that Anderson was there. Anderson just took off the line, and it happens. This week, Anderson was completely in fault. Not even remotely. Like, Roxon couldn't have gone outside more than what he did.
He literally was on the edge of the track.
Yeah, and the part that I didn't like was, if Anderson really felt that he was faster, why did he need to
do that?
Why did he need to take him out? Like if you really have to win a championship by taking the other competitors out, that's not good.
That's not a good way to win a championship.
No. So I think he could have, approached it differently. But Cam, I know you're a big Kenny fan. I want to hear your opinion on it. Were you saying some French words?
Yeah, it definitely was a shock, to be honest with you. I was not expecting that, and I don't think I was expecting it, or any of us were, any more than Kenny was. Yeah, and it honestly surprises me. I was reading through some of the comments, on the video, on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere. A lot of people were supporting Anderson, just saying, yeah, that's racing, and lines come together, and Anderson had the right way. And I guess, I don't know, maybe the way that I look at it is the general rule of thumb that I use for a lot of different things. So if something like that happens, once, okay, then that's chance. If it happens twice, that's coincidence. If it happens a third time, that's a pattern. And I feel like Anderson now, that we're so many races deep in the series, I think it's starting to become a pattern for him to race hard and aggressive, and kind of like what you said, maybe over his head as well. Maybe he's just kind of holding on to the back of his bike and trying to stay with it. Now, he's obviously fast when he does that, and you can kind of tell from his podium interview that I don't think he really was expecting to hit Kenny that hard, but no doubt he was prepared to make contact, and he's done it continuously. Last week, with Roxon and with Anderson not Anderson, Barsha. Yeah, thank you. I don't know. I think it's becoming a pattern for him, and it's not. I'm not a fan of that type of racing. I would
agree.
rather see them race clean, and I understand.
Well.
Yeah, and I understand. Lines can come together, and racing aggressively and blah blah blah. I get that part of it, but when you're taking people out, I mean, that was. I'll tell you what it reminded me of. Maybe not quite to the same extent, but kind of the same type of corner and the same shock factor was when Ferrandis took Craig out like that. And
That was in Anaheim too.
Yep. And so, reading through all the comments, this is kind of the last thing I had to contribute to this portion. Reading through the comments, a lot of people were like, "Oh, he shouldn't be penalized for that, or he should be penalized for that, whatever." And I guess using a logical way of thinking, so we know Barsha is on probation right now, right, for his moves last week. So let me ask you this. If Barsha had made that exact same move that Anderson did and made contact and took Roxon out, would Barsha have suffered disciplinary action?
Yes.
Oh,
probably.
Most definitely.
So then why should Anderson get away with it?
He shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I think he should have been penalized something.
That's just my take on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with it. When you're taking another rider that's thick into the championship, I mean, Roxon wasn't like top 5. He was, 6th and 7th in points or something.
But he
If
can
you're
still
gonna
stay
take-
in it.
Yeah, if you're going to take
Yeah.
a rider that has finished consistently pretty up there.
As we
And
said,
just-
as we said after Justin as Barsha and Anderson when they had their mishap in A1, it's too early for that.
Mm-hmm.
There's still
the
how many
same-
rounds left?
14.
It's the same thing that Malcolm said to
Exactly.
Muskin when Muskin took him out in the first race. Malcolm said there's 17 rounds. You can't be doing that. And I
Yep.
agree, dude. It's
And-
that's mature by
It's
him,
still,
you know?
It's still super early.
And
Only
it's
round
still
4.
and it's still early, and kind of in that same respect, you look at Roxon was what was it? Was he 9 points down, 7 points down, 9 points down coming into A2, and now he's 23 points down. So Anderson pretty much ended his opportunity for a championship this year. Something really big would have to happen. I mean, he's got to win a shitload of races, and he's got to have.
And I honestly don't see Roxon doing it.
Exactly, and any chance that he had beforehand, and I think he had a legitimate
Out the
shot.
window.
Yeah, it's out the window now. So,
And I hate to say it, I think Roxon's racing career is starting to come to an end. I hate to
I
say
don't know.
it.
I think it's still too early to really look at that. But from the Anderson point of it, he pretty much ended someone's chance at a championship, or made it practically impossible, and it sucks. It's not good.
Yeah, it's not good racing. And then, like, I don't know, just making enemies out on the track and stuff. It's good to see people respect each other. And right now, I can almost guarantee you, Kenny and Anderson are not going to respect each other. So it's like, are we going to see Kenny take out Anderson on the next race? Are we?
Oh,
I don't know.
I could
It's
see
just-
it. I really could. Because
That's
remember
kind
what
of what happens.
I don't like this racing.
back in, I can't remember what year it was, but Kenny's, I think it was 2018, what Kenny did to Cooper Webb after when Cooper still rode for Yamaha. Remember that in the whoops at
Yep.
Glendale?
Yeah, and that's it. I'm glad that you brought that up, because that's exactly why Kenny will not retaliate.
And it's funny how some people in their careers, like, we talk about a Malcolm that's becoming more professional. We talk about even somebody like Ferrandis. Have we even talked about him taking out anybody this year?
No.
No, 'cause I don't
haven't.
think he has.
He has
Because he's becoming more professional. But there's other guys that are going opposite. Muskin, you see him doing stupid moves. You see Anderson being stupid aggressive, and it's like,
Muskin's always made
I don't know.
some stupid moves in the past, but not
yeah,
all the time. Anderson's
Yeah, I
starting to
don't
make
know.
it a habit.
And I had respect. I had a little bit of respect for Anderson, but like now it's just like you're taking, kind of like what Luke was saying. You're taking a dude out of championship contention at all. But
And furthermore, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off,
You're good.
but before I forget this thought, what Luke was saying about Kenny being pretty much all the way on the rail, all the way on the outside of that corner. Yeah, lines come together and blah blah blah, but Kenny could not have been farther outside, out of everyone's way.
Yeah.
There was nowhere for him to move to not get hit. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So, anyways, that's all I got on that.
What do you think? What do y'all think went through Kenny's mind? Because like if y'all watch, he literally whenever he got hit, he sat there for like a quick second.
He's probably just like, what the hell?
No, the first thing he did, because he knew he had to get up, and was out of all the areas that you can crash, like he crashed in the sand. So the first thing he was doing was shaking his helmet off and getting all the sand out of his face.
Yeah.
So, but he put it. I mean, hats off to him. He was professional about it. He put his head down and charged the 13th from 21st or something like that.
Something like that.
And I mean, his pit board was saying, you know, hit your lines and stuff, and he was just focusing. But it just sucks that this happens that way.
It does. It really sucks because we all love Kenny here.
Mm-hmm.
It just sucks to say. I don't think he's gonna win one. I don't think he's gonna win one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he is either.
If Anderson's gonna stay like this throughout, I'm not gonna say he's gonna stay like this throughout the rest of his career, but if this is how he's gonna stay, I feel bad for anybody that's in front of him.
Well, I thought it was funny that I think Ricky Carmichael said something about it was, you know, the HRC, the Honda boys, they surround their team around Kenny. You know, he's their main guy and stuff like that.
I think it's going to
but
go to
it's
Sexton.
funny.
I think it's starting to go to Sexton. I think it's going to Sexton. I really do.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
you
what
know,
I said.
I
think
trying
Kenny's,
to get to
Kenny's
that
career is starting to-
but then you guys started talking over me.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, well, we kind of just cut to the chase. You see, I don't like to elaborate. Just get it done with.
I was just trying to say what Ricky Carmichael said with that. They're talking about Chase Sexton being the young gun.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a huge fan of Ricky Carmichael. So.
Oh, the GOAT.
I'm really not. I'm not a huge fan of him.
Okay, what went through y'all's mind whenever Anderson made that mistake where it was on the elevated turn? Whenever he jumped into it, went too high, and Tomac passed, and Tomac never looked back.
No,
well, that section that they found, I think Tomac found it in the heat race first, was the triple onto the elevated turn. It was really fast, but then guys like Tomac almost overcooked it. Anderson overcooked it in the heat race, and then almost did it again. And then I think Barsha almost overcooked it again. So it was a fast line, but
it's risky.
Can you be
consistent
with risk stalling your bike or I know.
I mean, props to him that he saved it, because that was impressive that he saved not going over.
He about went over that. Yeah.
But I was still happy to see it happen. After what he did to Kenny, I was happy to see him get past.
Yeah.
Because it was like you...
And I'm not going to brag or anything.
Go ahead.
No. Just keep going. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
But it was like you had to think everybody in that stadium was probably thinking karma comes back around. And it ended up doing, like, nobody hit Anderson. That was just a straight-up Anderson mistake. And I'm honestly happy it happened.
As we said before, I think he is riding over his head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of those riders, there's not too many. Like, honestly, the most comfortable out there was probably Tomac or Sexton. Tomac looks like he's found exactly what this bike
can do.
Like, yeah, he looks great.
He does.
Like, I won't even lie.
And a lot of people it's starting to look scary.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
I see Tomac winning another championship. I really do.
I can see him doing it. I want to say this year.
It's too early to call, but
it is too early to call. But
I
can see him winning it this year.
It is.
He's starting to get more consistent, and you don't see that from Tomac in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but what happens? What do you think happens if it's Anderson and Tomac? Like, what happens if Anderson can keep up with Tomac, but Anderson has the shot?
Yeah, Tomac won't let it slip away.
No, he won't. He's learned from the past.
That is true.
He won't let it slip away to Anderson again, because remember in 2018 when Anderson won?
Yeah, I think you're right.
He won't let it slip away to Anderson again, because remember in 2018 when Anderson won? He won't let it slip away to Anderson again, because remember in 2018 when Anderson won? He won't let it slip away to Anderson again, because remember in 2018 when Anderson won? It was a title contender or number one title contender before Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that was the year that
it was Tomac.
Yeah, because going into the 2018 season, going after the 2018 season, Tomac and Dungey were pretty much back and forth that whole year.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Anderson gets lucky because everybody wants to get hurt.
Yep.
Sometimes that happens in seasons, and that's how I think Dungey won his 2010 season. That's
Suzuki.
You can definitely put a lot of asterisks next to a lot of people's championships.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but that's ultimately it's part of the game.
It's part of the sport.
It's racing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It really is.
It's how sports go. Like, I know we're not a basketball podcast, but look at the Lakers when they won in Orlando. Because I don't even want to call it the bubble, because that's just really bullshit.
I don't know. I don't watch basketball.
Yeah.
Neither do I.
It was whenever
All
COVID.
right, so what do we got up next?
I want to keep that for the last. We kind of already talked about it, but Roxon pretty much being out of championship talk.
I think Roxon's going to just put his head down and charge and just do him. I don't think he has
You think he can?
I think his mental is very strong compared to like others, so I think he's going to just realize I'm not right in the thick of it. I'm going to race my own race, and if I win some, I win some. If I don't, then I still have my family and stuff. I don't know. I think his mental state is just it's different than young Kenny that is like, I need to win, I have to win, and the pressure's all on my shoulders. And I think Sexton being HRC's number one might take some pressure off of Roxon's shoulders.
I think it would, honestly.
So that's what I'm hoping
proved himself
for.
In the past, he knows what he can do, and he showed people what he can do. But he's getting older.
Yep.
And those injuries are starting to probably take a wear on his body. You can only imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, since we're talking about Sexton, do y'all think that he can have a chance this year? Like, just based off of what we've seen through 4 rounds?
Sure.
Yeah, Sexton has proved that he's one of the fastest.
Because it's just like what Ricky and all them were saying. You have one of the legends of the sport right now, and that's Tomac. And then they said you have an up and rising superstar in Sexton.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he can keep it on 2 wheels, and I don't see why not. He was a previous champion in the 250s, and he knows how to win. He knows how to win now in the 450s, and even a third, he said he wasn't really comfortable with the bike and the track and stuff. So that's
says a lot.
I look for them to be the two, almost the 2 front runners.
Yeah, I want to say Anderson's gonna. I would say right now my top 3 is Tomac, Sexton, Anderson. For if I had to just make a prediction.
Yeah, can we talk about what's going on with Webb?
That's exactly what I was going to bring up.
That's probably the next topic and stuff like that. But my dad the other day, he even said Webb looks fat, like he doesn't look himself, and I was like, I agree. Like he just nothing is smooth.
Okay,
he
so
looks different.
My question that I was going to ask is: him leaving the Baker's factory the reason why he's how he is?
I would say so, honestly.
Because look at Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
Stewart wasn't really in the talk last year very much. But now he goes to the Baker's factories and training with Alden Baker, and now he's consistently top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I could see Mookie winning a championship in the next couple of years. I really could. If he stays with Alden Baker.
Yeah.
That is.
I agree. And Malcolm's mindset has matured so much compared to what he was, and I'll admit, older Malcolm was just a kid that was fast on a bike, and now it seems like he actually knows, dang, I have a shot at this, I have a legitimate chance, and he's putting in consistent finishes. In the class that they were in, getting top 5, beating a lot of the top guys, that's impressive.
Yeah, that's really impressive.
He's beaten Webb, he's beaten Barsha, who's had the red plate at one point. So I'm impressed with Malcolm this year.
What's up with him? Like, I know it's
Thrasher?
Yeah, like what?
I think
Starts.
I know
I mean,
besides
I just
him
think
being
it's typical
everything
Bam Bam.
with what happened with Bogle, but where did he finish? Because I don't remember.
He finished in front of Webb. I think it was 7th.
So it was
Because I think
it
Moose
was
can
kind of a
finish in
quiet
6th.
night.
Yeah. It was a quiet night. The last couple weeks he's been getting really bad starts. Like as in out of the top like 12 or 13th. Like he's back in the back. And he's having to make passes and everything. I think he was the second or third highest in the most passed categories in the net passes. But it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's this year. It just seems like if you're not starting in the top 5, you're not getting a win. There's no way you're charging from the back and getting a win. The field is too stacked for it, unlike other
I can
years.
see that. I don't want to go back to the 250s, but Christian Craig's crash, I wanted to bring that up during that. Christian Craig's crash during press day.
He crashed during press day, which literally looked a lot worse than it actually was because his bike, I think, destroyed that safety net.
But that's why it's there.
And then he also had another tip over, I think, in the sand during qualifying or something like that. So I actually made my prediction. I thought Mosman or Lawrence was going to win it because I didn't feel like Craig was comfortable with the track with all the weird crashes. But, I mean, he proved that he can just, even when he crashes, he can put his head down, fight on, and get a win easily. I mean, it was a challenge. It wasn't an easy one. He had to work for it, but, yeah, we got him.
I know we haven't talked about in this race. We had a lot of praise for him last podcast. Ferrandis, he finished top 5.
Ferrandis top 5 again. It didn't seem like he was able to catch him, but he was one of the fastest out there, again, consistently. I don't know if I'd put him in championship contention yet, but he's proved that he's probably going to get a win this year.
Can we talk about the surpriser in the top 10, Dean Wilson?
Dino. A lot of people's wild card pick for the fantasy, Rocky Mountain Fantasy. Yeah, I mean, Dino's finished, 14th, 12th, 10th, and then where did he finish this time? 9th? Yeah, so, he's just that rider that just finishes. He's always going to be in the main. Always going to finish around there. I don't know what he's missing, I don't know if it's not taking the training as serious or something, but I love Dino. He's always fun. He's probably got the best social media out of any of the guys.
Oh, he does.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
By far, but he's not the same Kawasaki Dean Wilson that I remember watching.
Mm-mm.
And maybe that's what he needs. Maybe he needs a bike change. He's been on a Husqvarna for a long time.
He has.
Yeah.
I wanted Moose Can getting 6. Is that kind of like a bounce back race for him? You think or no?
I think so. I think that's right where he needs to be, and he just needs to get his head back in the game. He kind of went way, way, way backwards last week. So for him to be in the mix, in the pack, I think that was good for him.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think on last podcast, I don't remember because we talk a lot and stuff, but I think I said Mooskin needs to have a bounce back week to think he's have a chance, have any type of chance. And 6, it was okay. I mean, it would have been okay if Tomac didn't get first. It would have been a better bounce back, I guess.
Yeah.
But the guy that has the red plate got first, so.
Can we also? Yeah. What do you think was going through his head? He qualified 2nd.
Yeah, I mean,
I honestly don't know. I really don't.
Mooskin's proved that he's fast. He's just when it comes to race time, he's different. We haven't really talked about him getting the starts too much, and I guess in San Diego he did get the whole shot, and he was running up in first, and then I don't know what happened.
Hey, yes, that night was bad for him. Because from there on out, after he got that start, it was pretty much downhill from there. Whenever Sexton passed him, he made it look easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think everybody else, I think all the riders behind Sexton after that point kind of knew maybe Musquin wasn't going to put up a fight to stop you from passing me, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird to say that Musquin is like the top KTM rider right now. Is Webb, or I don't think the points, I think Webb still has the points and stuff, but I think Musquin's riding better than Webb is.
I think he is too.
Without a doubt.
Because Webb needs to figure out what's going on and fix it.
Is Musquin still with Owen Baker?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yep.
And Musquin's coming off a torn ACL, is he not?
Yeah, I think last season.
Yeah,
I don't think he rode outdoors, did he?
No, he didn't. He took that off.
I thought he was Supercross only.
And most people, when they tear their ACL, they don't bounce back like Musquin did.
I know who did come back from a torn ACL that bounced back really well?
Ew.
Joe Shiesty!
Oh my god.
Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
No, that was a good one. That had to be, yeah. That was at the right time.
Good God. I don't even know what to say to that.
I'm just discombobulated. I don't know what's going on.
Put him on a dirt bike. He's gonna be Joe Burr. But
back to Supercross.
Yeah. This is kind of a question about the whole championship. Could y'all see this year's championship going to final round? Like, could it be a round 16?
I sure hope so, because it's been not that for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping it's going to come down to, and I would love for it to come down to more than just 2 riders. It seems like every year it's just, okay, here it is, Kenny and Cooper. Oh, it's Eli and Cooper. Oh, it's like every year it's that. I'm hoping there's 3 to 4 battle guys at the very end of this, you know?
Yeah, like let somebody, maybe somebody could be a spoiler. Like if it was to come down to the last race, let's say it's Tomac, Sexton, Anderson. I don't know who we'd put in fourth. I don't know who's in fourth for points right now.
Could be Webb right now still. I don't know.
I'm just gonna throw a name out there just to say Ferrandis is in fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say it's all them, but you got Cooper Webb in fifth, who was out of the championship talk, but he can also, because you know if Webb's in fifth and you know he's out of the championship talk, he's still gonna try to win the race because he wants that little bit extra money.
Oh yeah.
Oh, of course.
So you'd also got to think he could be a spoiler. He could.
So can Kenny. So can.
There's a lot of riders that could be spoilers this year. Because, like we already said, Ken Roxon's probably out of it.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I want to say that he's not, and like I hope
it's too early to tell. It really is. Because he could pull around with multiple wins after this past weekend.
Well, the crazy thing to think about is like what happened to him could happen to anybody at any time. So say Anderson or somebody else takes out Tomac and he loses 20 points. Now we're sitting there thinking, okay, Sexton's in first in points. How long is that going to last? Here's Anderson in third in points. Like, it's just, there's so many things that can happen, and that's what I'm loving about this year.
Yeah, I could see that. We've already kind of said Sexton is the number one in HRC. I think we talked about this a while in the first podcast, talking about Jet probably getting called up before Hunter. If that happens,
what was that?
I think we were talking about whenever Roxon retires, who would come over to either come over or Jet or Hunter get moved up.
Oh, I mean that's way too early to tell because I mean like Roxon, who knows, could be off of a Honda and go to a different team, and Honda could be picking up Craig. You never know, you know.
No, I like what you said last podcast. And that's Craig going to KTM.
Craig going to KTM, yeah. I mean, but there's so many guys that like could move up in the 450s. Even guys like a Colt Nichols or a Justin Cooper, like they can move up anytime and get a ride. I guess we'll all see.
Do y'all think Mosman will be the second TOD gas guys? 450.
I think Gas is growing as a company, you know, and Barsh is not a bad rider to grow it.
They've got a good
turn his season around. Yeah.
It's just crazy to think that Barsha really took that chance on Gas.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say it's working out.
Yeah, the brand that needs to, or the manufacturer that really needs to have that solidified like rider is Suzuki. We haven't had a good Suzuki rider since like Roxon or Reed. I mean, I don't know. How many guys do you see in the top 22 in the Suzukis? There's Hartraft, Bogle.
Yeah.
Hardly any.
Yeah, there's hardly any.
It doesn't happen often.
Rookie.
Oh, God, I'm trying to...
Alex Martin's on a Yamaha.
No. I can think of his name.
Shane McElrath's on a KTM.
Mumford. Carson Mumford.
Isn't it? Oh, that's for 250s, huh?
Yeah, but he still rides a Suzuki.
Yeah, there's more depth in the 250s for the Suzukis with Mumford and a couple of those other guys. I forget.
450 Suzuki rider is Adamantic Nap, but she isn't really a big name.
Intignap. Is that DJ Intignap? What's that?
I'm looking people on the Suzuki. He's 14th in points. Is Brandon Hartraft? I think you probably said that already.
Yeah, Hartraft was who got the Rocky Mountain Fantasy wild card in 12th.
Yeah. So that's all that. I guess let's talk about Tomac winning. A thing that I have here, it is in parentheses. Last time Tomac won A2, he won the championship.
I think Tomac winning just kind of scares everybody else. Basically, like,
I'm still here.
It scares everybody because he went from, what was it, 6th, 4th, 2nd, and now got a 1st. So he's consistently gotten better and better. You can't get better than 1st. So what's he going to do? Just continually to win? So someone needs to stop him. You know,
someone's going to have to, because he's going to be riding a lot of momentum.
He's too calm out there. He looks so flowy and smooth on the bike. Someone needs to disrupt him and get in his head, because he looks way too good on the bike to be, have anybody else have a chance.
The thing that I would say, I want to say it'll be Anderson.
Yeah.
It definitely could be Anderson as long as he rides on his own, in his lane.
Yeah, but Anderson ain't gonna do that.
He's gonna get fried. We all know that.
Yeah. Who do y'all think went into the race last night with the most momentum?
Most momentum, probably Tomac. Just knew what he can do on the bike. But I think the most confidence, probably Sexton. Knowing that,
I would say Tomac and Sexton too. That's right.
Those two.
Because Sexton was coming fresh off a win, his first.
I think also Anderson realized, he was really flowing smooth in that last track, and he knew he could pass pretty much everybody except the whole bike problem. So maybe this week he thought he had all the confidence, and then realized he was riding out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, I could see that. But I could definitely see it being Anderson and not Anderson, Tomac and Sexton. because Sexton came off his very first win. Where is it at? I'm trying to find it. I saw a question on Instagram earlier. Why can't I see this? I can't find it. All I know is that it has something to do with Cooper Webb. It's probably going back to what you were saying about. You said your dad brought something up about Cooper Webb looking different.
Yeah, he just looks different on the bike. He doesn't, especially the biggest notice, of course, is Cooper was always known for that. All right, it's 12 minutes into the race. Here comes Cooper starting to pass people, and he has not done that at all.
He's not the same. He's not the same rider.
No, so I'm just wondering if it's because of his training regiment. I don't know. But I think if anybody, besides Roxon, because he got taken out, it happens, he needs a bounce back week. But if I think anybody needs a bounce back week to say that I'm still in this championship, it needs to be Webb this week in Glendale.
It needs to be him pretty hard.
Yeah, and Glendale is usually longer whoop sections and stuff, so we'll see.
Luke, do you think that that Webb is just having some type of issues, or do you think it's that maybe the competition is elevated, that he's having trouble coming through the pack now?
It could be that, but at the same time, we were racing with all these riders last year. Dylan was there last year. I mean,
there's not really many rookies this year.
No, there's not really many rookies. I mean, I think who is it? Alex Martin is, but besides that, not really any rookies that we're talking about. I don't know, because it's just, I don't know if everybody's riding on a different level of intensity. I don't know if it's because of the whole trainer switch.
But you gotta think, last year, was it not that a lot of people started to get hurt?
That is true.
Yeah. But it's just crazy how last year we were talking about, it was between... last year's talk, I think 4 rounds in, was between Kenny and Cooper. And we weren't talking about any of the names that we were... Maybe Eli every once in a while, but he didn't look the same on his tally.
Everyone in that class last year was getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But could it also be for last year, they were in that venue for 3 races. They were there for a whole week, so they got used to... Because they didn't change the dirt for 3 races, so that first race was kind of get the feel of the dirt, see how it's going to react whenever it's 15 minutes into a race. You know how it's going to react now.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're back to the normal formatting where it's different dirt every weekend.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see. I mean, yeah, we'll talk. I've already said my piece about Webb needs to have, if any rider out of the whole field needs to have a bounce back week to say that I'm still in the championship, I think it's Webb. Roxon needs to have, just, I think I said Roxon needs to have a bounce back week last week, and
he was
crashed
doing
this week again.
He was doing his bounce back, and then
Anderson so I guess up. So I mean, and then is that the last segment, or are we getting into predictions? I guess, or I don't even know.
You brought up Glendale. I wanted to, how you said it's usually longer tracks. How much do you think the start will affect people this week? Because they usually go the full length of a football field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do.
Glendale is known for having one of the longest starts every season.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we'd see, or what do you think the possibilities are that we see a first corner or the first turn crash in both main events?
Oh, I guarantee it's going to happen. It happened this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, this year's so crazy. I wouldn't even be surprised if we had our 5th different winner this year.
That wouldn't surprise me either, because we're 4 different riders in.
There's so many guys that still could win that haven't. I mean, I would say Malcolm could, Muskin Plessinger can. There's so many guys that can that haven't, and I just think this year
And the
is going to be.
Did you say?
I don't know what the record is. I didn't even say Barsha. No,
That's the thing.
this year is going to be one of those years that I don't know what's the record for the most different winners, but this could be one of those
This
years.
might be, yeah. It's just the field is so stacked, man. It's just you've got.
It is.
I want to say I'm happy Barsha's little streak ended of the opening round.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, he was doing good for that 3 years in a row that he won the opening round.
Yeah, he was definitely.
But he's always a good starter, but his ends, where he ends is, I feel like it's about 7 or 8 rounds in is whenever he goes down.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there a chance we could see that again this year?
I wouldn't doubt it just because of the past, but hell, who knows? We've got a lot of surprises this year.
Barsha's impressed me this year. He's stayed confident, and I think that whole probation thing might have been in the back of his mind. You know, with the whole Bogle thing, I wouldn't be surprised if that was lingering. So I think now that he's kind of past that, hopefully he just rides smart. And he was catching Webb. He probably would have caught Webb if Webb didn't tip it over on his own. So, I mean, Barsha's still just. I think he's 5th in points. Probably he's still there.
Yeah, he's still there in the fight. But we just about hit the hour mark. So if y'all are down to, I'm done with the topics. Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Did we miss any topics? We talked about Eli winning, Roxon probably being. Well, does that race push him out of it? Yeah, I've got it. We've gone through every one. So Luke, you usually tell us what the fantasy wild card is.
Yeah, so the wild card this week is 9th place. Who, like you were saying earlier in the cast, Dino got up to 9th, broke at the top 10 for the first week. I guess. Yeah, I guess being 10th still breaks the top 10. I guess, but
Yeah.
But yeah, Jared, why don't you give us your top 3 and your 9th place for Glendale?
Oh man, I think Tomac honestly might pull it off again this week, just because of it is a longer track, and he knows he has the endurance to do it and the speed to pull ahead, because he did it this week. So I'm gonna go with Tomac at first, which kind of doing that backwards. Should go start off 3rd, but oh well.
Mm-hmm. That works.
I'm gonna say Anderson in 3rd, and I wanna say Kenny in 2nd, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I think he's probably gonna get 4th or 5th. I'm gonna go with Sexton 2nd.
All right.
And for 9th place, it's really just a toss-up. It really is. So I'm probably just gonna say Ferrandis, just based on
Ferrandis in 9th. All right.
the year he's had.
All right. Caleb, why don't you give us your top?
For 3rd, it's a little out there. I'm gonna say Barsha's gonna come back. I think he's gonna get inside that top 3 again. Barsha will be getting 3rd. 2, Sexton. I'm kind of there with Jared, and I'm also gonna stick with what Jared said. I think Tomac's gonna be our first 2-time winner.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he can go those longer races, he can deal with the longer tracks, and you said wild card's 9th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Muscan.
It's not a bad pick.
I think Muscan. He got. What did we say? He got like 6th.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's gonna be able to hang with the faster guys for that long. I think the faster guys are just going to get out and go, race on their own. And they're going to do everything they got to. That's pretty much what I think.
Yeah. I guess I'll give my my picks and or no. Was that for your 9th?
Yeah, my 9th was Muscan.
Okay. I'll give my picks, and then Cam, I guess you'll round it off. Finish us strong. 3rd place, I think, just long track speed. I think Malcolm gets his first podium with 3rd. I want to say he's going to break that top 5 streak. He's going to get to 3rd. 2nd, I think Ferrandis gets 2nd. And then I'm kind of riding with you guys with that Eli Tomac train. I don't know if anybody's going to stop him. I think the Blue Crew is going to take over,
I was going to say,
And,
you got the Yamaha boys up there. I like it.
I do have the Yamaha boys, I know, and I'm so for the HRC boys. I just don't know about Chase with this Arizona dirt,
Yeah.
Just it's different, and I think Chase was known for more East Coast, which he's done very well on the West Coast, of course.
Oh yeah.
And then ninth place, I'm just gonna say the savvy veteran, just to throw him out there because I love the guy, but Jay Brayton, gotta throw that man in there. It sucks that he crashed out. I think he was like running in 12th or 11th or something like that. And he crashed out because I had him in my wild card last week. But top 10, Jay Brayton.
You didn't change your picks in the app this week, right?
I might have. I think I took. Did I say to take Ferrandis first?
God, I don't remember. Yeah, you
I think I did.
You did. You did. You did.
For me too, I always look at timing and scoring and stuff like that, so I'm always waiting until then. So, we're doing this podcast
a week before the race.
A week before the race. Things can happen during the week. People can get injured, and then time's on tracks. I'm not picking Plessinger to be my top 3 if he's getting 14th in qualifying.
Yeah, that's understandable.
You know what I mean? Cam, what you gonna finish this with?
Yeah, I think in third place I'm going to put Anderson. I think he's still going to be a top contender. I think he'll still find his way onto the box. I think Tomac is going to roll with the momentum. I think he's going to be able to get second place. But I think the person that's going to be the most determined and the most motivated is going to be Chase Sexton. I think he goes for the win. I think we see him get his second win of the season. And then wild card, kind of like what you guys said. It's almost a real toss up, but I'd have to say probably Ferrandis for ninth.
I like it.
Alrighty.
So that is going to end the podcast. Follow the Instagram page, _Supercross Talk. Luke has always been grinding, keeping up with all the updates, letting you know on injuries and all that stuff. We looking all good here?
Yes, sir. Have a good night, fellas.
Alright, we're not getting no bing bong tonight.
Joe Shiesty.